And from my experience, I've told myself I couldn't take a woman with children seriously.
Why?
Taking it seriously is just hard because I don't have to settle. I've done certain things in my life to put me at a certain echelon, to date a certain top tier.
Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
things that we were never told. I'm Jay.
And I'm O.
And now you know. What up, y'all? We back in the building. You saw that energy? She don't even know how to react to it. It's going to be more energy.
Okay. All right, guys. So today we're actually going to be reacting to a clip from Daddy TV, shout out to him, entitled Single Mom Gets Rejected by Man and Woman Gets Triggered. This should be interesting.
Have you ever dated a woman with children?
I have, but I was young. I was like 22. I had a cougar. She had some younger kids. How old is your son?
He's 11.
He's 11. And from my experience, I've told myself I couldn't take a woman with children seriously.
Why?
The child's always gonna come first.
Yes.
The child's gonna always come first. I'm going to always need to put you first, but I come second. And technically, he's a 10-year-old boy who's going to get into his teenage years. He's going to be in a situation where you're not my dad, right? I'm not talking about an anecdotal experience. Your son may be a sweet child, but my experience, it just hasn't been the best.
You have the right to feel however you want about dating a single mom. That's your prerogative, whatever. But you're on a date with a single mom. What are you talking about? Your priority here is supposed to be trying to get a third date. I don't even know why I'm on a second date with you in this moment.
Realistically, yeah, we can have some fun.
But taking it serious.
It's like taking it seriously is just hard because I don't have to settle. I've done certain things in my life to put me at a certain echelon, to date a certain top tier. I'm not saying a woman with a child isn't top tier, but like standards wise, is like, I like to travel and be like, yo, let's go. Let's go to Miami, let's do this, let's do that. And it's like, let me call my mom and see if she can watch the kid. It's just no real benefit in it for me.
We're going to stop there first.
Ooh.
Man.
Okay.
That brother has been red-pilled, boy.
Well, I can see why she was triggered.
Oh, man.
So, I don't know. You want to go first?
Okay, the first thing I would say is, did he tell any lies, though?
Lies?
Did he tell any lies?
No, I can't say he told any lies. How should I say it? So, remember when we first got married and I used to get on you about it's not what you say, it's how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically using some tact, some coof. You understand? While I understand where he's coming from, you know, he's entitled to his feelings, like she said, and everything like that. You are on a date, and I feel like there should be some tact that's used, especially knowing that the woman that you're on a date with is a single mother. I do appreciate that he's being upfront, which I do think is important, but I don't know. That was just, I was like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Like, when he was talking, I'm like, no, retreat. But, so here's the thing. I don't disagree with him that when dating a single mother, that it's going to be difficult for you to ever be in first place, basically be number one.
I would like to interject. It's difficult to be in first place if it's your kids.
I was going there next.
Woo.
So I understand that. But just like Jay said, here's the thing. Even when you get married, just because it's in a woman's nature for you to protect your child, the child oftentimes, they are number one, especially for a large portion of the time that they're living at home with you, because, you know, they're kids. They don't know any better. And it's like you have to teach them everything. And that's something that I don't feel as though is necessarily talked about as much, that I think, like in his case, because he was like, oh, well, you know, I've done enough in my life to put myself in a certain whatever where I don't have to settle this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, you know, I understand what you're saying, but to me, that comes off as rude. To me, that's being rude in that instance to her. Because I'm like, you don't know her. This is the first time you guys are on a date. You don't know why she's a single mom. You don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's different reasons, and I understand that some people might be like, well, it doesn't matter. She's a single mom, blah, 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 whatever. There's a reason why people are in certain situations. And to me, it's rude for you to put yourself in a certain atmosphere like you're better than because you've achieved this much in life. So I don't have to settle for peasants. To me, that's how it comes across. Like, I don't know if that's what you think or not, but to me, that's kind of how it came across. And that's how, to me, it comes across oftentimes when you hear it from like the red pill communities, the ones who are like far left. I do understand that, yes, once you put yourself in a certain position, for men, you put yourself in a certain income bracket, it does open up a lot of doors and opportunities for you to be able to have different types of women. But not all single mothers are bad women, or I shouldn't even say bad women, because I don't think he was necessarily saying that she was a bad woman. He's just saying I don't have to deal with someone having a child and dealing with what that brings to the table, which I understand. I don't know. It was just a messy situation, y'all. It was just, I just feel like there should have been some tact that could have been used in that situation, because it's just like, read the room.
Okay, so there's a couple of things. First thing, he did try to be tactful. To me, he wasn't being rude in the way he was putting it across. I think he was trying actually to not be rude, but it's just when you're saying certain things to people, there's no good way to say it. The only good way to say certain things is to say nothing. The only good way for him to end it the way he felt without offending her in any way would have been for him to just be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to have another date. And then what happens in those situations a lot of times is a woman be like, I don't understand what happened. He ain't even say nothing. He ain't call me back. He ain't do that. And so it's like, you either tell them or you don't. The second thing I'm going to say, he was trying. I'm not saying that he succeeded. Obviously he didn't because of the way she acted. I'm just saying he was trying to be very nice. He wasn't trying to be rude about it. He had an even keel. He wasn't trying to be, he was like, bruh. So what happened was
it was cringe.
Right. He knew what he was saying was going to be not well received, and he tried to soften it and to be like, he did a lot of kowtowing and trying to be nice about it. He said a couple of things that were very key in that whole situation. Number one, he said that he already had an experience with it. He didn't like it.
Right.
And he was like, in my experience, I would never put myself through that again. Why? Because I'm getting with somebody and I'm not first, but you're going to put somebody else first, and then I have to put you first. And he was like, that for me is a no-go. And I'm sorry, that's fair. You know, and then the funny thing is she was like, yeah, that's what it's going to be. And she expected him to just be okay with it. Them rules are not going to be as fair to them as it would be to your baby daddy, because it's his child too. If it's your baby daddy, it's his child too. So he understands it. But if this is somebody coming from outside of the situation into your situation, for you to literally tell them, well, you only gonna get 50%, but I expect you to give me 100%. Who's gonna take that deal? Number 2 or 3, wherever I'm at. Everybody want a high value man, right? Everybody want a high value man. Here's one of the things that Kevin Samuels used to always say. High value men don't got time to mix words with you. High value men don't have time to sit there and protect your feelings all the time. They got time to sit there and tell you what it is, and they don't always sit there and wait for you. Why? Is it because they're jerks? Some of them are. Yeah. Is it because they just don't care about your feelings? Some of them don't. Some of them do. But the reality is they don't have to. Why? It's not about you. A lot of people were watching it and it blew up. And I'm pretty sure a lot of women was like, I don't believe he did this. And it ain't about you, boo-boo. Everybody always thinks that everything is about you. And it's not. It's about your competition. The reason he said what he said is because her competition ain't got no kids. Her competition is going to spoil him. You remember Beyonce? Everybody always talk about the song that she had about being an independent woman. Y'all remember the song that she said, cater to you? Her competition is going to cater to him, and she is going to cater to her child and expect him to cater to her, but not reciprocate because she won't be able to, because it's not even his kid. But they think that that's supposed to be a fair deal for him. It's not a fair deal for him. And it takes a very special guy to come into that situation and allow himself to be number 3 or 4 or whatever on your list until y'all get married and years pass and he can work his way up to being number 1. And yet he has to put you number 1 from the beginning. In today's dating market, they're not going to take that deal, because it's not like, oh, well, you're going to be number 2. No, he's a guy you're dating. And then he's probably going to be a boyfriend, and then maybe a fiance, and then possibly a husband. Even by the time he becomes your husband, he may still not be your number 1. Even then, it may take years for him to be number 1. And all this time, he's supposed to put you number 1 while he's number 5, trying to get to number 4, trying to get to number 3, trying to become number 2. And women are so confused about why men are like, no, I don't want to do that no more. I'm good. Why? Because I understand that after what I've worked and I've achieved for myself in this area, that the other women that I date are willing to cater to me and make my life easier. So it's like when you walk down this path of having kids outside of wedlock, for a lot of you ladies, or you walk down the path and you decide to get divorced for reasons other than those specific ones, essay, abuse, all of those types of things. When ladies go and they decide to get divorced and they become single moms for reasons that are more frivolous, this is the reality of the situation that you're walking into the dating market with. If you think you're going to leave your regular guy, or even some of you might be leaving a high value guy, and you think you're just going to get better when it comes to that side of things. Now, if the guy is just treating you like a jerk, you could find a guy who's nicer if that's what you're looking for. I want a guy who's nicer. I want a guy who's more into me. And some people, some women find it. God bless them. But don't think that it's an automatic just because you should be so privileged that you're with me, that you should just accept all of the downfalls that come with all of the baggage that I'm carrying into our relationship. Some guys are like, well, I don't have any baggage, so why should I take yours? And the more money they make and the more success and the more status they have, the less willing they're going to be to take that deal. Because a lot of women think that it's necessarily about, what am I, a chopped liver? How many of the women that you're comparing yourself are you better than? That's the real question. Are you better than all these other women? Because all women can feel special, but guess what? Y'all all competing against each other. So as a guy, if I've made myself into a certain place, I'm just like, okay, we have a group of special women. So now I have to start choosing based on the realities of their situation, not because they special. So there was a lot in there, and I know where a lot of people went with that. I know where they went with it. And when we watched it, I was like, oh, he said that. Oh, man. She's a relatively attractive young lady. She looked like she exercised, keep herself up. She probably doing it her thing. She might have money. I know that she probably was like, what, am I, chopped liver? No, it's not that you chop liver. It's that there's a woman who has everything you have, but no kid. And that changes all of the dynamics of the relationship they will have. And it's hard to communicate that to a woman and not offend her. He was not trying to offend nothing. You can tell that he was like, what it is in my experience, it happened to me before, and then what happened was, like, he was trying to do everything to make it not offensive, but at the same time, he just said, yo, your competition don't got your baggage. And that's sort of kind of what it is. And a lot of women, y'all gotta accept that. I actually wanted to go further on because they do this, but we might have to do that in a part 2. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it in a part 2, so it's not all in the same video. If you guys want to check the part 2, we're gonna record it right now. If you want the part 2, y'all could just come in. And do you have any last words or anything else you wanted to say from what we already saw?
No.
Yeah, that was a hard one.
Comment down below your thoughts, because I'd be very interested to see what you all have to say.
I 100% understand.
Hopefully men and women comment. Both of y'all.
I understand why she was mad. I understand why she was mad. Cause she was trying to keep herself together and stuff. She was like, I'm about to come out here. I'm about to kill it, bro. I look good too. Yeah, right there. And he was like, nah, dog. Yeah, you right and everything, but when you start thinking about it, it's not really as good as you think it is.
Listen.
It's really not. It takes special dudes. Oh, and there's something else I want to talk about. I'm gonna do that in part 2. Yeah. I got a whole nother point that I wanted to bring that was about men and women in general concerning situations like this but I'm gonna do that in part 2. So
yeah, keep on your post notifications so you can get part 2 to this. All right.
So that's gonna be it for now. And dang, that dude. Ooh. Man, he had to eat that.
You ready?
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm ready.
We ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another night.
Welcome
to the J&O Show,
where we talk about
things that we would never told them, Jay.
I'm O.
And now you know I totally messed that up. Let's do it again because I was supposed to pause. And I didn't pause.
Press the off button.